Poetic. Hello, friend. It's so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. It's good to be in here in this space. This is my day 3 in a row. Hello, ma'am. I'm so glad you're here again. You've been here all 3 days, right? I've been going. This is my 3rd day in a row where I've tried to come live. I'm a little late today. Fake it till you make it. Isn't that like life? Especially with all the different changes. How fast technology changes, especially in the social media world. So appreciate y'all being here again. We've had some really good, healthy conversations. Thank you, you detailing. I appreciate you. My daughter talked me into these a couple years ago, so I love them. But I really like the conversations that we've had about, of course, about deconstructing, but also some of the things that's happening in our country. I am not overreacting, but I'm also not one to say, let's just rely on the midterms. I think that that's a little foolish. If you've been paying attention to this since the early 2000s, probably especially when Obama became president, you can see how things escalated after that. When it comes to the plan of Christian nationalism, this has been a plan that's been in the works for over 70 years. Can you all hear me okay? Do I need to move closer to my mic? Everything good? So I do have, are you hearing me okay on TikTok, Lynette? Looking at you. Good. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, everyone. Come on in. Have a seat. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all so very much for being here and your support. You're always so kind. And I'm doing this for a couple of reasons, because this is not a threat. It's more informational that when and if this is going to some kind of American app, I'm not going to join it. I think we can pretty much anticipate what that's going to end up being, which is just a echo chamber for Trump social, something like the Truth Show social. It'll be more like Trump social. Thank you, Ashley. I've been a part of your deconstructing since 2020. Well, I'm glad you're here. And I hope that you continue to follow me elsewhere. I'll stick around for a couple of bets for as long as we can be here. And I know a lot of people are concerned about some of the things that are happening in our country, and that's the reason why I wanted to be here to help alleviate some of your concerns, answer some of your questions. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining me over there at Stack of the Sub. We're going to try different things to see if we don't get in trouble for saying things that we shouldn't hear. I do want to honor the guidelines. I understand that we don't own these platforms, so there's only so much that we can discuss here. I did just finish a writing for over there that's going to be posted next week called, what's the name of it? It's not on this computer, it's on my other. Stop telling me to seek God. He knows where I am. That was a fun one to write. So I enjoy. Thank you, Rosie. Hi, you're back again, dear one. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you more than you know. Yeah. So it was inspired by, I had written something about the history of Christian nationalism and its ties to the family and the network that was related to Jerry Falwell, all those different things. Thank you, Jake. And someone commented, seek God. Now, I can understand if I'm really pushing back on some of the deconstructing and some of the ideology and theology that's very much integrated into high control American Christianity, but this was really about the history, and someone just plopped that down. Hi, Benny. And thank you so much for the shares. Those are important too. So thank you all for doing your thing out there. Someone posted that, and it was like, you know what? I'm going to write about that. And so it's inspired. Let me see if I can find it. I'll just tease it a little bit if I can find it here. Y'all, you got time, don't you? Y'all got time today to hear me talk about it? Hi, Benny. Thank you. Peace be with you as well. Let's see, what is it? It's going up on Sunday, actually. It's called Stop Asking Me to Seek God. He knows where I am. I said, if God is as omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent as he is claimed to be, then surely he doesn't need me to seek him. Surely he knows exactly where I am. Surely he knows why I walked away. Mic drop. We got mic drop. Oh, and then the next section is titled "The Arrogance of the Demand." This is part of Christianity most people don't want to talk about. The arrogance that assumes access to every classroom, every government space, and every human heart. And that's where really the pushback has been so much because of what started happening in the 50s and 60s with civil rights. That was really the turning point, no pun, but that really was. That was really when white Christian patriarchy began to see how much of what they perceived as their entitlement to be in control of this country, that's when they really started to see what they were going to have to do to dismantle the civil rights movement, to deflate it, to take away rights from the historically oppressed. So they knew they couldn't do it in one fell swoop, but they started to set up a system. And that system really started to play out right before Obama was elected. I mean, you really saw it in the Reagan era. All of what was happening during Reagan and Mitch McConnell coming in and promising the judiciary branch of government, that was all part of the plan. It very much was part of the plan. Reagan was as handpicked just as much as Trump was to be able to escalate that white Christian nationalist ideology and amplify that message and tap into the bigotry that's underlying a lot of the high control American Christianity. And I'm really careful not to just to say evangelical Christianity, because this is hiding in plain sight across American churches. It's not just evangelical Christianity. Thank you so much, Queen. Yes, please share the live. Oh, I'm missing some comments here. Let me see what we got going on. I'm not real good at this. Like I say, these lives reveal they call them those squirrel moments, those ADHD. Yeah, that's me. I wish I had known it in high school. High school would have been a lot easier if we had known that in the 70s. It wasn't even a phase. Heather, hello, dear. Hello, dear one. You've been following me since I think day one. You came around. I so appreciate you being here. Omnimus says it's 1,000%. It's hiding. Yeah, it's all right there if you know where to look. But especially when something as big and tragic as what happened to CK happens, then you're going to see a new level of revealing themselves. It doesn't the facts around the tragedy of what happened to CK aren't relevant. It's the response to it. So yeah, we can get caught up in conspiracy theories, and I'm not saying those things aren't important, because I too have questions about who they have accused. Things just don't add up there. And come on, you look at my text messages, they don't look anything like what a millennial or a Gen Zer would use as in some of those text messages that were released. But that is a distraction. What's more important is to see what movement has been ignited because of that event. And I talked about it. I know a lot of people saw another level of not understanding the person in your family, in your church, in your neighborhood, who really, then you saw that there was a covert movement inside Christianity that really does support Christian nationalism. They just didn't want to be revealed. You thought they were quiet because they just didn't mix politics with their faith, but actually they really did. Do I need to do something with that document, Lynette? I'll pull it up. Oh, thank you. You did that for me. Thank you. She pulled up the writing. Stop telling me to seek God. He knows where I am. Well, let me just tell you, since we did this, I think I told you tomorrow the one is inspired by Heather Cox Richardson. It's called Leave This One for the Morning, and it's the importance of making sure that you get the self-care that you need. I know I have not done a very good job of it, and I've been kind of paying the price in some ways. I'm okay, but I'm taking care of myself a little better. And honestly, the one way that I'm taking care of myself is being here with you. One of the ways I'm taking care of myself is being here with you in live spaces. They affirm me. I receive something from you in this way that you say I give to you. I needed to take a break from videos. I'm not good at that in the event that, the jump cut videos, and for those of you who don't know, like where you put those splices in videos, and which is what the algorithm really likes, those exhaust me. And I'm a boomer, and I'm not making excuses for that. I'm honored to have this platform. I'm honored to do what I need to do, but I those are very, very challenging for me. I feel more authentic in these kinds of spaces. I feel that we can have a connection in a way that is more organic. And once I have some of my features lifted, because I haven't gone live in such a long time, I'll be able to invite guests up here, and we'll be able to have some really good conversations. I do want to keep it limited to some of the things that I talk about, in other words, my wheelhouse. But I'm not afraid to talk to somebody who's a churched Christian if they can be respectful and they have questions. But the minute you start thumping the Bible at me, honey, my sass is going to come out and just literally knock you down. I was raised by a bunch of women born in Kentucky and a bunch of Appalachian roots back there. And so I can throw it down with the best of that. Yes, Poetic, you would be one of the first ones I would want to invite up and have a conversation with you. Casey, thank you so much for the follow. Now, I got to have a shameless plug for out there. I know that liking, sharing, comment, all those things are really important. Thank you so much for the gifts. I see those going up. I've just got a little screen. I'm not on my phone. I'm actually using the Studio Live because I want to see both chats going here. So, but I just appreciate all of that. That's what helps protect the live I hear. So I really do appreciate all of this here. I don't understand all of the little icons I'm seeing up there, but it looks like we have about 109 people in here. So I'm very, very happy. And over on, I don't know what we have. I can't see. We have a couple of viewers over on Even Tuba the U. So I appreciate that. And every once in a while, I am going to remind you of a couple of things. Hi, Lisa. I'm going to remind you of a couple of things. If this goes to an American version, I'm not staying here. I've so enjoyed my time here, but we can pretty much guess what it's going to be about. Let me tell you what's going to happen. The first thing they're going to do is set it up to look like 2020. And we're going to have so much fun on this app so that we'll have fun and begin to think that it's going to be that kind of app until things start to get suppressed. And I think that's going to happen really quickly because I think Trump is the most impatient person in the world, and he's not going to tolerate anyone having a platform that disagrees with his regime. And hi, Teresa, I see you over on Tuba the U. Thank you so much for being there. It is already suppressed, Space Junkie. You are absolutely 100% right. Now, Spiritual Lane, I will miss you too, but don't forget I am in other places. And for right now, those give us a larger voice. For some reason, I have a couple accounts kind of going crazy elsewhere that here, I don't think I get 2 followers a day, but in others, I'm growing pretty healthily. And I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll have to see. All of them right now sit at the same table as this fascist government. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. Now, yeah, TikTok being international was the draw. I think there is definitely a cornucopia of experience here. I mean, I think that's what happened with 2020. And of course, everything's changed. It did become a shopping platform, and that certainly changed. But for many of us, and I see this, if you want to see somebody suppressed, please go follow Goddess Mia. Please follow her right now. The last time I checked, she's like at 850,000 followers, and her videos will get 300 views. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really challenging because Black women very much get suppressed on these types of apps. They are a threat. They are seen as a threat, and that kind of, when they get into that system, it's very hard to get. It's very hard to get unstuck. A long time ago, this app made it very clear I can't talk about anything that is related to World War II, related to Middle East. The closest I think I told you yesterday, the closest I came to losing my account was when I started talking about there's an organization that's linked to Jerry Falwell and Paul Rhetoric that goes beyond. I think it might talk about it a little bit in bad faith, but I do want to talk about it, and I can't do it here. So we will be going live in other places so that we can talk about what that looks like now, because we're not talking about fringe. We're not talking about outlier Christians. This is your Mike Pence and your Mike Johnson. These are the people, when people talk about how Mike Pence is a moderate, you are being deceived. Mike Pence just thought you could contort the Constitution to fit a Christian narrative, but he was going after the same goal would be Christian nationalism. There's no safe Christian that supports any ideology of Christian nationalism. They're just using a different tactic. They see Trump setting himself up as a tyrant, and they don't want anything to do with that. That's why Pence then chose not to upend the election in 2020, or 2021, but that's exactly what he is. All you have to do is go search 2015, the Religious Freedom Act here in Indiana, see what he got passed. He got it passed. And then also hear how he says, how he contorts what freedom from religion means. In his mind, and it's out there, there's videos out there, freedom from religion means that Christians have the right to force you to adhere to their beliefs. That's his ideology. And don't forget, he spoke twice at CPAC when they were in Hungary. Twice. So he's very much involved in that. So there, people, I cringe when people they're so desperate to hold on to this idea that Christianity is going to save us. And all the respect for the Christians who are doing the work, the Christians Against Christian Nationalism. That's literally an organization. If you're a Christian and you're not working with that or supporting them in some way, you absolutely should. But they even have some language inside their document that I have somewhere that kind of implies that Christians should be leading this. I absolutely do not agree. I do not agree, because there will always come a place where Christians will start to protect the institution, to protect the ideology, the theology of Christianity. And that people cringe when I say things like that, but I think that it has to be a multifaceted approach to how we're looking at this. And I think that's why we're so splintered right now. I think it's because so many groups are isolated from each other, trying to figure out how they're going to be the one up front, the voice up front, and not coming together at the table to talk about this. I mean, when I hear things about interfaith movements that are moving forward, to me, get your atheists together as well. There's an implication that atheists are not doing the work, and some of the most powerful voices that are for social justice movements are atheists and agnostics, humanist movements. And oftentimes they are not allowed to have a platform, because you'll only have these movements that center religious leaders. And you may see religious leaders, but there will also be a Christian-centric lean, a tint, if you will, towards a Christian voice at the front. We're past that. I am of the mind that if Christianity doesn't have a reconciling with where we are and Christianity's complicitness in it, it will not survive. It will not survive. I don't care about the data. I know there's data out there that talks about Gen Z, Gen Alpha pulling towards religion. I do think that, and there's also data that shows that has a lot to do with the pandemic. I think I can say that. I don't know. And people needing community, needing guidance, needing direction. If there's anyone who knows how to rebrand themselves as the people that should be in leadership, it's that high control American Christianity. They started that a long time ago when they decided to go non-denominational, and all they did was hide their denominational affiliation behind the charters, in the boardrooms, in the elders and deacons meetings. But they're very much still Southern Baptist. They still very much will not ordain a woman. They will not officiate a same-sex wedding. There's no modernity, there you go, inside that church. And I don't believe that Gen Alpha is going to be fooled. They might be fooled a minute, but they're not going to be fooled. There's no way. I'm full stop. We are way too far advanced into this human social justice movement. This is the arc of justice bending. And we have to continue to bend it. We can't be complacent, which is why I want to be in these lives talking to these things. Lana, thank you so much. Over on Tube of the U, I see your comment, and I've totally missed all y'all here, but over on TikTok. But thank you for your comments and your support. I do hear that liking the live, doing the little heart memes. I know that those, I think they cost a little bit, and if you can't afford it, no judgment whatsoever. But I know that protects the live. Sharing the live does, that helps so much. So thank you. I know people are, that's how you show TikTok that this is interesting. So this is my platform. Welcome to my church. And you're right. Thank you, ma'am. You remembered. And you did it. Thank you so much. I've got my little Olipop. I don't know if I can show that or not, but that's what it is. Madeline, I'm back. I'm trying to get here as soon as I can in the afternoons, but it's hard. And there's a couple of good lives that I don't want to go over. I know Rosie goes lives, North Omaha Cat Lady. I don't know your times. I catch you every once in a while if you're still here. Diava goes live at 4. I love to watch her. How are your animals? Madeline, thank you so much. I don't know if you know, my cat passed last year, and we're down to just one reactive dog, and he's so happy. He just can't handle other animals in the house. So right now, that's all he can do. Rini, thank you so much for being here. As a former Catholic, I am now spiritual, no religion. That is a good place to be. So many of us who left church and then leave our religion, that's where we land. And I think that oftentimes that allows us to expand our spirituality and experience it through our lived experiences, instead of looking at someone else for our answers and our guidance. Thank you so much for the heart. There's one little section here I can see you. Madeline says, I just said goodbye to my very first little reactive dog, and my big reactive dog is so happy. Solo, yeah. GKRA, I don't know how to say your name. I'm immediately calmer just being here. Thank you so much. Lisa says, my parents were married by a female minister in 1958. So was I. Same minister. That's a lovely story. So yeah, the Methodists have been doing it for a while. Of course, they just had a big schism. Am I right? It was the Methodists a couple years ago. You had nearly 14 years together. That is so sweet. Well, my reactive dog did just have a major milestone. He did not have to be sedated for his annual exam. So if you have a reactive dog, and he's a reactive pit, he's not in here right now. If you know, you know. Now, I did have to give him, I know I can't say the names of DRUGSs here, but I did have to give him something to chill him out. But he was awake, and he knew what they were doing to him all over his body, and it's a big deal. Even the vet was like, whoa, I can't believe this. When he kneeled down and by him, and his new vet tech came, and he looked at his vet tech and said, now, don't let this one fool you. He's all muscle. And he's all muscle. I'll have to show you a picture sometime. My Oso Roddy gets sedated they have to. It's big. And 4th of July, oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. So I've talked long enough. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you want to talk about? If not, I have some questions from the other day that people were asking about. First of all, we did spend some time talking about religious psychosis that was related to the rapture. So I think we've covered that okay. But I want to also, someone asked about selective outrage, and I really did mean to come back to that when we were talking here, but we didn't, so we can talk about that. I also made some notes about Trump's UN speech. Now, you can go out there and actually get the transcript. If any of you, I don't know how many of you are trying to have these difficult conversations. Have we really gone 30 minutes and we haven't had to mute anybody? I might have just jinxed myself, but and thank you all for being here. And oh my goodness, thank you for the likes. This is so wonderful to see this. But are you having those conversations, those difficult conversations with people? Lynette, have I just missed it? Have you not had to mute anybody? And again, thank you for everyone that's over on Tube of the U. By the way, for those of you who are here, I would very much appreciate it if you would find me over at Tube of the U. If you would also find me elsewhere, that what they call the Writers app, I think you can find that. Those are the places where I'm really going to be active, even though I'm still over at Zuckerberg's place, and those things have been pretty good to me. Lately, those are where writing is my first love. And very soon we're going to be announcing a book discussion group that will be over at the Writers app. Does everybody know what that is when I say that? Where we're going to be talking about my book and all the books that I mentioned the first time we were here. We were talking about, mutual aid, and we were talking about everything from how fascism works to what you should be doing to prepare. To me right now, it feels like this is insurance. It's not about overreacting. It's not about overreacting, but it's just like preparing. And I do believe that we should be. I'm not hanging my hat on the midterms. I'm not going to pretend. I think especially white people have a harder time understanding that things aren't going to change until we are ready to make it happen. There needs to be a bigger, louder movement. And no way am I saying that violence is the answer, but the power of the economic pressure that we could put if we really paid attention. Jimmy Kimmel was just a drop in the bucket on what we could do. And I think it's probably going to have to be some kind of massive movement around Christmas or the holidays that might be very inconvenient, but might be powerful. The reason, if you look at how corporate America is failing us right now, we should remember that someday, because there will be a time that things will reset. I believe that. I want it to happen in my lifetime. I want to see the mistakes that I made as a boomer and my generation made, that we can fix this. I want to see it for the kids and their kids. So we do have work to do. Thank you, ma'am, for joining me over on Tube of the U. I do appreciate that. Yeah, Blackout Black Friday. Poet Miranda, hi. You're over there with me on the Writers app. Thank you so much. And Poet Miranda, you've been going live there. Unfortunately, I can't ever catch you, but I see there you've been over there. Just you're doing it. Thank you. So yes, head over there. There's so many wonderful creators who are finding another level of creativity over there. So I'd really appreciate you to find me there. Plumbing Bird says, my family is in deep. Mom is a former PCC director, and they won't engage on the state of the world. Tell me what PCC is. Is that something that you can say on the app? I'll probably know what it is, but I don't recognize the acronym. Madeline says, I'm in Louisiana and it feels like I am one of the only people who even want change. The crazy thing about Louisiana, too, is how many people are going to be impacted by the Medicaid cuts, and they don't even know it. The amount of people who are going to be harmed. And there's part of me that where I get so angry when I see the people who call me a fearmonger, or I'm misrepresenting, or I'm even lying about what's going to happen. Part of me wants to say, let it burn. Let it go. Let it happen. Let them see. Because the people that are so highly indoctrinated, they will not change their mind until the pain hits them. And when we talk about that, and I'm very careful to use this word, but this is like a religious psychosis. Someone said the other day in a comment, this is like not just deconstructing, this is deprogramming. This is the mindset of people who will double down no matter what. When Trump literally said he could go on Fifth Avenue and unalive somebody, he knows that because he knows the mindset. It's real. It is absolutely real. This is what they will do. They will follow a man that they believe is God over to Guyana. So they get what they want until they get there. And then they realize they've been duped. So sometimes you think, let them get what they want. But I can't because of the other generations. For the people who are going to be hurt now, we have to fight. Pregnancy. Okay, thank you, Plumbing Bird. Thank you for telling me. Thank you, Tired. That's very kind of you. Everyone look up Weather Underground. I'm going to write it down. If I can read my writing afterwards. If COVID emergency, that's ended. Pandemic has been over for years. Michael, I don't know what you're saying. You'll have to explain that. I don't know what you mean. C823, I'm very frustrated with Christian nationalism. C823 says, I'm glad you just found your life. Well, thank you for being here. Being frustrated is a valid reason to be here and discuss it. I hope you're educating yourself. We do have a list of the books that I've been talking about. If you've never read Fever in the Heartland, if you've never seen the documentary Bad Faith, educate yourself on what's happening here. This goes back even farther. Sneezy, that's very kind of you. This even goes back farther than Jerry Falwell. There's a whole roadmap that even talks about igniting the evangelical base, the conservative base, because it goes far beyond evangelical Christianity, igniting them into voting. And that's when they got their arms around AB, because before that, even the Southern Baptist Convention was voting that the issue of AB was between a woman and her doctor. Even after AB was made a protected right for women, 3 years later, the Southern Baptist Convention still voted that it was a right between a woman and her doctor, and the church was going to be hands off. But they needed a movement, and so it became something. And that's what Bad Faith shows you, how you can take and train the indoctrinated to be angry about anything. And it's such a hypocritical stance. Absolutely hypocritical, because no one cares about the child once it's born. If we really worried about the infant, then you would also see increased legislation that ensured that the child was going to be protected once it was born through mandated and forced child support payments, insurance, food subsidies, none of that. Once the child is born, the woman is blamed as the welfare queen. And that is another part of that stigmatizing and villainizing women that was part of the same movement that Ronald Reagan added to that ideology. Very much so. Yes, Ashley, they do not deserve the title of pro-life, not at all. It's pro-birth, absolutely. Yeah, the SPC anti-choice stance is younger than the big pack. That's very good. Yeah. Yeah, and when you look at the type of funding that has left, the funding where children are going hungry and who that is most impacting, we are once again creating a system that is harming the most marginalized and the most oppressed. And why are we doing that? Because once you have cleared out the immigrants in our country, who's going to do the work? But if you force a situation where people are so desperate, they'll do anything to try to keep their family alive. It's humiliating. It's dehumanizing. I mean, and you look at the hypocrisy when, okay, I want to say something, but I don't have all the facts in front of me, so I want to be really, really careful about that. Yeah, CL Finn, 100%, I agree, 100%. The Caroline, let me see if I can find it. The one nice thing about being on my computer is Caroline Levitt made a statement the other day about education. No, it's from 6 months ago. I'll have to, like I said, I'm not comfortable. I want to have the facts right here before I say something. So I'll come back to that. But she was targeting a certain group and insulting them for wanting to get their education while she's an educated woman. So I'll find that information and I'll put it in my notes here. Also, okay, thank you, Lynette. Once again, we have a wonderful mod here under Rev Karla shop. If anybody does come in and troll us, which like, what happened? Hey, I'm not complaining. I really like who we are today. C823 says financial insecurity is a big reason for ABs, and even more so now. They have created a catch-22. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dehumanize, defund, redline, create systems that no one can get ahead. It's absolutely more than frustrating. It's inhumane. It is inhumane. But you know what? The reason why they do it? Because they know they're not the smartest. They know. Patriarchy protects incompetency if they're loyal. Patriarchy will protect the incompetent because loyalty is the most important thing in a patriarchal structure, not skill, not education, not experience. Look at the Trump regime right now. Look who he has around him. Most of those people have never even come close to being qualified for the positions they are in, but they are loyal. It protects incompetency for that reason. Oh, okay, Kevin. Now you get who wants to eat for free and not want, you can see that on both. That's a stigmatizing statement that most people want to put around a certain subset of people in America, when in reality that is such a small percentage of the population. People want to live with dignity and integrity and respect. But if you can create a narrative about a person who looks a certain way, was born in a different country, then you can then start to create a system that will be protected by those indoctrinated to believe that the only person qualified to be at the top of any system is the white Christian man. And that is why the civil rights movement was the trigger to make sure that was not going to be the case in America. That is what triggered all that is happening here today. It's a 60-year plan. It's a 60-year plan, and that's what happened. So go ahead. It's time to just get rid of him. Thank you. Like I said, Lynette is the mod. She'll take care of people who come in. Did I miss any other questions? We're gonna let Kevin go on his way. I'm sure that Newsmax is on right now, and he's missing someone. Praise! What a great job Trump did speaking to the United Nations. I saw a clip from Fox News where they said that there are leaders from other countries calling Trump daddy. Have any of you, it's one of those extremist, Cam, it's one of those extremist right news agencies. Did you watch it? Did anybody listen to this? Did anybody listen to that speech? You probably have seen sound bites. But if you can handle it, watch it. All I could think of was a couple years ago when he spoke and he got laughed at. And of course he remembered that, because this man has to have one of the most fragile egos of anyone else in the country. There is a place, you can actually get a transcript. If you just type transcript of Trump's UN speech, you can get it. And so what I did is took that transcript, and then I took a couple of articles, one from the New York Times, one from the Guardian, and one from PolitiFact. And I had AI transpose the transcript with the places where they said he lied and misrepresented the facts. And I do that kind of thing to help me be informed when people come up to me and say something about him ending 7 wars. Or everybody's talking about him getting the Peace Prize. That is driving him crazy. And you just don't know how far people are going to obey in advance and what hold he has over things like that. But I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he got it. I would not be surprised. Yeah, Amy, I saw that. He inadvertently admitted that he didn't get the UN contract, explains why he doesn't like the UN. Yeah, it was awful. I mean, it was so petty. And he just went on. And I don't know if you read Heather Cox Richardson, but one of the ambassadors that was there texted to a news journalist and said, he's insane. This man is insane. Yeah, he's insane. But it's insanity in power. So, we need a plan, don't we all? We need a plan. We need a plan. And I'm telling you that I've been online looking at some massive movement organizations and what they did to create like collective communities. You really, if you haven't done any research on mutual aid, this book by Dean Spade called Mutual Aid, but there's also, and I'm sorry I don't have it here, I was reading it in another place, it's called Microactivism. Lynette, if you could put the name of that on the chat, that would be great. Microactivism is another really good one. If you research some other places that talk about how to start mutual aid, they'll walk you through how to make sure you're finding people that will help you come together in a way so that all needs are met. So in other words, you're to make sure you have a way to take care of children, the way you can learn to freeze dry fruit. And I know some of you are going to go, oh my God, she's going into prepper mode. You can't look at what's happening today and not fear that something could happen to the very basic common comforts that we have that also keep us warm, keep us safe, keep us fed. So that doesn't mean that I'm going to go off the grid, but it does mean that I want to consider the thought that people saying to have a week's worth of water probably isn't a bad idea. When you have a president who gets up in front of his cabinet and says, I want to use the whole power of our military against our citizens, why in the world would you not believe him? What has he backed down on anything that he has said in the past? One thing. Name me one thing that he has actually said, well, I didn't mean that. I'm really a nice person. I love everybody. No, he stood at what was supposed to be a memorial service for one of his best friends and admitted he hates his enemies. He stood at a Christian memorial service and said, I'm not like CK and I'm not like Erica. I hate my enemies. I despise them. Why would you think that he would not be cruel? Go back into the 70s and see what kind of landlord he was. He has been cruel for years. He has been inconsiderate. He's selfish and greedy. And even if you go past that, that's the immediate threat. And then you look, if you want to go deep into what's going to happen when J.D. Vance comes to power, and people will say, well, he's not the cult of personality. That doesn't matter. That's not why Peter Thiel put him in place. That is not why Peter Thiel put him in place at all. Have you done any research on Palantir and Oracle? Yeah, my free time is really a blast these days. It's a blast. I go down deep into rabbit holes. Listen, I'll have people leave this live thinking, okay, she's a conspiracy theorist, but for any of you that have been here with me since 2020, you know there's not one place I haven't had to walk back. So I've had to walk back something I've said. Yes, I may have had to been like, okay, I got that part off, but still the essence of what I'm saying is still here because history is informing us of this. And when you have people like Heather Cox Richardson, a history professor who has looked at history from a scholarly level, who's telling us that the only way this is going to change is mass movement. The only way that we're going to see this stopped is mass movement. Go read her articles. It's there. Do you want me to bring them to you so I can show you what she has said? I'm not I'm not an outlier in here. We're just not getting enough attention. People are still thinking that someone else is going to solve this for us. So if we're prepared that in the dead of winter something happens for the grid, we are going to be less desperate. And we can still hold on to our personal agency and make decisions and not have our hands held out waiting for a tyrant who cares nothing about us, who stood up in front of thousands of people and said, I hate my enemies. Well, who are the enemies? We're out here. He knows who we are. What's going to happen to us? I'm glad someone just said I read HCR daily, but yeah, Lojo, I hear what you're saying. I don't believe we are. We are so much stronger. One of the reasons that they're moving with breakneck speed is because they know that we're like deer in the headlights. They know that the faster they get this in place, the less likely it is that we will start to respond until they have dismantled all systems of government that protect our rights. So the sooner we do it, the better. The sooner we get together and start forming movements trust me, I've been to the protests. I've held up the signs. I've made signs for people. I've signed petitions. I have been making, somehow a video I made in 2022 is making the rounds right now, where I was talking about Christian nationalism. I think the first video I made about Christian nationalism was a few months after I got on TikTok in 2020. I had Christians come to me and tell me to not talk about it. I had Christians coming into my DMs telling me not to talk about Christian nationalism. And now all of a sudden this video is taking off again, and people are saying, I'm like, what are they saying I'm right about? What are they saying I'm right about? So I don't believe we're doomed. I don't believe it. I do think we have more power. But the playbook that they're using is what's terrifying. The playbook that they are using is what's terrifying. So what do we have to do to push back against it, to stop it, to ensure that our children and children's children have at least equal and hopefully more rights than we did? That's what we were working for. I mean, proverbially speaking, the arc of justice doesn't bend itself. All of these human rights are never been given. You're never going to have a table of white Christian men sitting around and saying, you know what, I feel really benevolent today. I think we'll just give some rights away. Every right has been fought for. Every right has been deserved. And they want to make this about what they're doing. And again, this is an issue that I can't speak about here, but the T in the LGBTQ is being vilified in a horrifying way. And that is very intentional. That is very intentional. Because if you can dehumanize one group, which they did with immigrants, and now they're moving on to the next one, that is intentional. Because how soon before they start coming for everyone that Trump labels his enemies? Who exactly are his enemies? And so when he starts talking about this group, this organization called Antifa, when we all know it's fluff, but it's the language, it's the indoctrinated language that he's using when we go back to the people who were talking about the rapture and people who were at that CK memorial. That's who he's talking to. The very ones that he said that he could stand in front on Fifth Avenue and unalive someone. That is who he's talking to. He has to remind them that he has the power. It's Paula White back in, I think, February, when she said a vote against Donald Trump is a vote against God. If you were raised in high control American Christianity that goes far beyond evangelical Christianity, that was a dog whistle. That was a dog whistle to say, don't you dare defy him. Don't you dare vote against him in Congress, because the people hear it and they believe it. They have been drinking that Kool-Aid since day one. Since day one. And they do believe that white supremacy is next to godliness. It's all connected. And when you start to see it, you know it. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the shares. That does protect this live. It looks like we have some people in here, and I've missed all the comments. So if you have a question that you would, if you have questions or anything, repeat them and I'll see what I can do. Badass, I would agree with you. C823 is a MAGA woman. Why would you agree with losing your right to vote? That's such a good comment, because inside, first of all, there is a group of them that say you're delusional. That's not going to happen. So there's some on the fringes that aren't in the high control. They think that you're being dismissive, but they're bigots. So they like the idea of just cleansing the palate, our American palate of any immigrants in this country, when they don't understand the economic power of immigrants and not only the influence, but the economy, how that grows our economy. So number one. Number two, the one that's highly indoctrinated, the one that we're talking about when we talk about they will be loyal to the patriarchal structure, cannot see themselves outside of it. So in other words, their misogyny is so internalized that they do believe they're less than, that they do believe that it's more about their proximity to their husband. There's a very good chance that some of these women have never voted and never want to. They want their husband to take care of everything. They believe that being submissive to not just God, but then by proximity, which is taught in the church, that is your pastor, your church leaders, and your husband. So this whole umbrella thingy that they're talking about, that is very much an ideology, and they like the power it gives them. So there's nothing more dangerous and nothing more toxic than a white woman who's going to protect the patriarchy, because she not only bends the knee to it and submits to it and will weaponize it against her family, she will turn to her community and weaponize it against other women, because she likes the power, whether it's in her government system, her church, whatever it is. She likes that power, so she identifies with it very much. She has no personal agency or no personal identity outside of it. She only sees herself within that system of power. And it's reinforced when you, especially in these conservative churches, where the rock band will start playing, the pastor's wife will get up and make the announcements, and then she hands the mic off to the husband. It's all visual. It's all then for that to be reinforced in the family dynamic, and how then you relate to each other, to the church, and then how you treat others outside of that. And you will do anything to protect it. So they see it as a small inconvenience. They don't need to be messing with those things like that. Now, the ones that are powerful, so like your Caroline Levitt, your Erica Kirk, your Marjorie Taylor Greene, those women see themselves as different. They want for themselves something that they don't want you to have. They will vote against their interest because they're high enough on that patriarchal structure that they hope that they're high enough that they'll always be useful. And I just wrote about this, and I actually did put it on the Writers app as well, and I think, Lynette, you put it in other places, but I said that in that structure, because I was talking about Laura Loomer and what she said about Jasmine Crockett yesterday, a woman who is defending the patriarchy is useful because she's usable. But the minute she's no longer usable, she's disposable. And whatever's going on with Laura, she's so desperate for relevance that she's going to be the most dangerous and toxic person that she can be to prove her loyalty to that system. That's why I said that they are the most dangerous, because they're going to protect it as best they can. Oh, we did have to get some blocking out there. How's that going for everybody? Yeah, Jim Struck, I don't think I can say that here. Somebody will find your message and put it up here. Put it up on the comment in a minute. Thank you, ma'am. Can you tell I'm losing my voice? Can you tell I'm losing my voice? And we're right at an hour. I'm going to have to call it in a minute. Got another grandson soccer game. More hints. Lynette, can you put it on there? Or is ma'am still here? Somebody put it on the in the chats. Thank you, Shenanigans. Hi. I haven't been around a lot, have you? Thank you so much for the follow. Really do appreciate that. I did see a comment. Yeah, V, 100%. Laura is close to that person. And a long time ago, I can't say that person's name here. I can't even search for his name. Somewhere along the time, oh, thank you. I didn't notice that. Somewhere a long time ago, I'm in the bucket. Now I can go on someone else's account. I can type in his name. I can see it. I cannot see it. I can't see, if I type in the guy from Germany in World War II, I can't see it. I can't type it. I can't get any content. So they tell you that there's not these restrictions. I am in that bucket. So when you see me get my account get really suppressed, it gets suppressed. Yeah, I know shelter files, and I don't. No. I mean, I can't find any, if I've blocked you, you can still see videos about me if somebody's made them or something like that. It comes up and tells me no content about this person exists on this app. Same with the World War II guy, the funny mustache guy. Nothing. I can't do it. Isn't that crazy? How we doing? I'm sorry. You know what? This might be my cue. I got to go. I'm losing my voice. Who's that? C.L. Finn, is that somebody that I'm supposed to know? If I look this up and this is something that I'm not going to like, I'm not going to be happy with you. Amy, yes, that's a really good question. I am. I'm getting very active on the Writers app. And I am on Tube of the U. That's just going to grow. These lives are going to be completely put over there. So you can always find them over there. Please like and subscribe there. I will be also doing a discussion group, first starting with my book, Deconstructing, and then we're going to go into some other conversations, and I'll be teaching live over there more. Thank you, user 487. That's where I spend a lot of my time. Writing is my first love, but as I've told many of you here, if this switches to an American app, I'm not staying. It's been fun, but there's no way it's going to end up being a Truth Social echo chamber, and I'm not gonna put up with that. We're gonna have to keep looking at different places for our voices to be, and we also have to make sure that we find each other. If there are people that you really are interested in following, please make sure you're looking at your following list, setting notifications, because nobody knows how long we're going to be in any one place. Thank you so much, Carrie, for the follow. And I see Donna over on Tube of the U. You just came over from TikTok. Thank you so much. Take care of McAfee. Thank you, Truth Matters. That's very kind of you. Yes, Shenanigans, DM me. I think I may have your number, but that's been a while. It's been a year. Shenanigans, that's all I can say. It's been a year. And to that, I'll say I do have a pinned video that alludes to that. I'm fine, but I can't talk about some of the things that's going on in my life. If I'm here, that means things are good. And I'm going to try to come a little bit every day into these spaces so that we can talk. Thank you so much for the follow over on Tube of the U. I really do appreciate. Like I said, go find me in the other places as well. It's really important. Hey Sams, thank you. I see you over on Tube of the U. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, you'll be able to find the entire live today over there on Tube of the U. That will get uploaded. User 487, my cat passed. Yeah. He was old, but thank you so much. There was I'm going to tell this story and then I'm going to end. Because I was cleaning out a drawer and I found the thank you card I got from my veterinarian. Because I was at a place to offer palliative care for my cat while he was going to the place of actively dying. And that's not for everybody. If your physical circumstances doesn't allow you, if your finances doesn't allow you, but I'm at a place where I could offer palliative care for my cat and was able to be there when he passed. He was on pain medicine. But my vet sent me a card after he passed and thanked me for showing her another path that she had never had the time to really understand palliative care of pets until I had offered her that. And now she knew what to look for when it came to informed. I've been in animal welfare for 20 some years. And so I've done a lot with, helping animals pass peacefully, and I've done a lot of research on it. Oh, I would love to have a conversation with you sometime. I don't know how to say your name on TikTok, but a certified pet loss specialist. Oh my gosh, so you know what I'm talking about here. And I'm not an expert, but I'm intuitive in that, and it was wonderful. It was as peaceful as experience. My heart's still broken. I can't listen to Shawn Mendes, is that his name? It'll Be Okay. Don't ask me why I started singing that song to him when he was passing, but I did, and it just stuck with me. That was going to be his passing song. Each of my animals has that. My daughter's dog was 18, Lynette, when Rocco died, and his song is "Ghost" by not Justin Bieber. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't want to go with this. Pet loss is one of my biggest losses. I went through a depression because of it. Well, you know what? One of the things that I do is the St. Francis of Assisi. My birthday is on St. Francis of Assisi birthday, and that's also the Feast of the Animals. And every year I do a ritual called They Were Here and They Mattered. And then I offer an altar where I have the names of the animals, and I burn the names to send up the ashes and the smoke up into the heavens. If that's something that feels meaningful for you, maybe we could put something like that together here and do something together. Thank you, Heathen. Thank you, Heathen. I love your name. Thank you. All right, everyone. This has been such a beautiful, beautiful day. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for all the likes and the follows and the shares and the gifts. If I missed them, please know that it wasn't intentional. I just get going and I get preaching, and I'm just looking straight at the cameras to talk to you. We're going to try to be back tomorrow. It's all going to, there is some family stuff going on, but we are certain. Martial Arts of Medford. Oh, hello, dear one. Hello. I hope someday you'll be able to come up and be a part. Your voice is needed in this time. And I owe you an explanation for not reaching out to you on DM. Just some stuff going on in my own life. Thank you all again. This has been wonderful. I am so honored for the time that you took out of your day to be here with me. Be sure you're following me other platforms. And if all goes well, I'll be back here tomorrow. And my reactive dog just came in, so I know it's time to go. Thank you all. Sending you all so much love and gentleness for your day. Remember, there's hope. Don't ever give up. The arc of justice does bend towards justice, but we have to bend it. Don't give up hope. Don't ever give up hope. Keep your eye on the ultimate, that kindness and compassion is where the universe is expanding. I truly, truly believe that. So let's just keep working together. Much love to you all. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay, YouTube, thank you all so very much. My goodness, what an honor to see so many of you come over and subscribe. And I will be seeing you very soon as well. Let's make a habit of this, shall we? Okay, take care. See you tomorrow.